It is 8:25. We want our rivers to be sewage-free and usable as a resource. It doesn't seem much to us, but it is not always happening, as many of us know. I'm in Bristol this morning, where the Avon is certainly better treated than it was in the 70s when I grew up in these parts, but frankly that's not saying much, and it has happened largely because of local people forcing it to happen. Rave on for the Avon. See what they're doing there. Sounds better with a Bristolian accent, I think, but there we are. That's my go at it. A documentary about the local community's love for the river and their bid to make it safe to swim in is out now.
Oh, I swim in the river most days, rain or snow.
That is nice, tingly. Oh, God. And the water takes the pain away. This would be my first time swimming in my river. A little bit nervous. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, it'll be fine. Let's go. You never want to get out. Yeah. Like Mummy.
But I like to go underwater.
Whereas I know how clean this river is and I don't go underwater.
There we are. Charlotte Sawyer is with me now, director of that documentary, and Becca Blease as well, who's a member of Conham Bathers. Thank you both for coming into our studio. Morning to you.
Morning.
Charlotte, first of all, what did you want to achieve?
I wanted to capture the love that people have for the river, but also the love they feel back when they engage in it, when they swim, when they walk next to it, when they see the gorgeous nature that's around it. And it wasn't hard to do because all of the people that I followed, they just express it so beautifully.
Yeah, and there's this real sort of sense of warmth, I think it's fair to say, isn't it, that you've captured?
Warmth, but also...
Possibly the wrong word to use, particularly this time of year.
I was going to say also cold and thrill, excitement.
Yeah.
We have people swimming through the whole year in the winter, in the snow. Lots of very shocked, screaming and slightly orgasmic sounds sometimes of people, of the thrill that they get from the cold water. And it's very healing for some people, swim for medical reasons as well. And yeah, it's really important to them.
Becca Blease, what's your involvement?
So I started a campaign a few years ago, actually, during the pandemic, to try to get designated bathing water status for this very special stretch of the Bristol Avon that Charlotte has captured in her film. The hope was simply that that there are lots of people who swim there, but we didn't know anything about the quality of the water, whether it was still like the 70s, whether it has improved drastically. We don't know. It's a bit of a gamble every time you go in. And there wasn't any data that we could find about whether it's safe to swim or not. So I put together the campaign, and we've done a few years of our own sampling, and we've set up a sewage data dashboard.
And the story is what?
Well, the story of the film is, what's so great about the film is that a lot of river campaigning feels very frustrating. A lot of the time you're consistently, community groups across the country consistently documenting sewage incidents after sewage incidents and throwing these stats out, and nothing seems to stick a lot of the time. And what you don't see is that no campaign group starts simply because they enjoy being angry. It starts because they love a river and they want to cherish it and they feel a joy from it. And that's what we don't hear as much in the media around the sewage scandal. Quite rightly so. It sticks to the negative aspects, all those sewage data reports. But I think that positive message is really important too. You need to see how important rivers are to people.
Yeah, I mean that's the point, isn't it, Charlotte? Is this a story of progress being made, or is it a story of just of a protest and things that have gone wrong and still go wrong, or both?
Protests happen. I mean, the film lends its name from a rave that was organised as Becca and the Conham Bathers handed in a petition at Bristol City Council.
It is a brilliant name.
Yeah,
Rave on for the Avon.
It was October, it was cold outside, and people were raving in their swimsuits to drum and bass while the petition was being handed in. There are campaign moments, but really it's from the eyes of the campaigners and the river users themselves. And, we see a frustrating meeting between someone who won't pay their bills and the Chief Operations Officer for Wessex Water, who's trying to convince that person to pay their bills. But then we actually end with a wedding ceremony of, a woman that wants to express how rivers should have rights and personhood, and she's trying to make a creative, artistic statement. So it's not about kind of the It's filmed over 6 seasons, but it's not necessarily about these campaign wins and losses, but it's about people's experience of love.
And of course, in many respects, Becca, it's not just about Bristol and the Avon, is it? It's about people right around the country, right around the UK, will know about their own rivers and wonder whether things like this actually do have long-term an effect on the water companies and on their behaviour.
Yeah, well, I think the film will certainly help keep it in the agenda, keep it in the minds of both the water companies and the council and politicians, decision makers. You know, this isn't an issue that's going away. I think water companies probably hoped it would, that it would just simply go away after how many articles come out saying, the number of hundreds of thousands of sewage being spilled, and we collect data like that as well. But it's not going away. That's what's really interesting to see, that there's more and more momentum across the country.
Becca Blease and Charlotte Sawyer, director of the Avon River documentary. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
News at 10 o'clock. Over 44,000 minutes of sewage have spilled into the Bristol Avon and Conham River Park.
14% of England's rivers are in good ecological health.
A BBC investigation has found that water companies discharged sewage on days when it wasn't raining, which is illegal. The practice,
So yeah, we're part of a campaign called Save Our Avon.
Do you guys know the mermaid who swims down the river with the big
Yeah, we do know the mermaid. So yeah, getting married to the river. Gonna be Mrs. Avon.
Bring it back in.
It's like it doesn't look like it's clean.
Sometimes the levels are worse than others.
This, I believe, used to say prohibited.
When did this first arrive? Possibly in response to the commotion we've been causing by the campaign.
Onto agenda petition debate to address sewage pollution in the Avon.
I owe £1,091.
He's not paying his bills because he's not getting the service.
I don't agree that that's the case with West Water.
Okay.
And we can talk about that now.
Oh, 7 fucking hours.
You've got to get in the water at some point.
Okay.
Oh, I swim in the river most days, rain or snow. If I don't do this, I'm going to go nuts.
Oh, I hear you.
That is nice, tingly. Oh God. You cried this week, yeah. We're just there for each other, and the water takes the pain away. What do you say? This would be my first time swimming in Conham ever. A little bit nervous. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Let's go. You never want to get out. Like mummy.
But I like to go underwater.
Whereas I know how clean this river is and I don't go underwater.
And I really nice and warm and love it.
Now Meg is going to make her vows.
Do you call on all the courage and determination you possess to raise awareness of the issues facing this and every river?
I do.